Hello everyone, pleasure to have you back to this geographical explorational channel. Today I'm leaving my usual territory, that is Google Maps, and I'm going to show you something else. Something maybe exciting. I find it quite exciting, so why wouldn't you? We're looking at 4 maps that each displays one. Well, mode of transport is wrong, but one moving vehicle. 3 of them are mode of transports, and one is, I guess, also a mode of transport, but it transports data, if that makes any sense. But also, not only, it's also just showing objects that move and fly somehow, if that makes any sense. We will get to that. All these maps are very nice to look at, very nice sort of screensavers, very nice activities for children, and they are live, which makes a big difference for me. They are live, the objects in them are live, and it's very exciting. There's loads to see on all of those maps. They have so many depths and layers and things to click at and play around with. It's really, really cool. So let's get started with map number 1. In front of you, you see something that I guess many of you know, Flight Radar 24 Live Air Traffic map. This map shows, let's say, many planes, commercial planes in the world, maybe all commercial planes, but not necessarily all planes, military and private, not necessarily included, although also. You see clearly by looking at it from the sort of world perspective that there are flight routes, that planes are not flying through the air just so in whatever direction or degree they want to, but kind of like as it is on the street, in the city, planes have certain routes to get from A to B in this world. You see certain patterns. One of the main hubs is here in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar. Planes from Asia connect there to Europe, from Australia, Africa, and so on. And of course, here between Europe and the US, there's a major route. Of course, one of the greatest features about this map is that you can click on any given plane. Let's say this one from Dallas to Washington by American Airlines. There will be a picture of that plane, or at least of a plane like this. Let's say airlines have many different A350-900s. So I don't know if it's going to be particular that one, but often it is, I believe. It shows you how much it has already flown, for how long it has been in the air. If you scroll down a bit, how high it is at the moment. And you can see it landing, and you can see it taking off. If you zoom more in through this like bush of yellow plane symbols, you find additionally airports. Now I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina for some reason, and you can click on the airport. It shows you the weather and the wind and all sorts of things, and arrival and departure board. So if you look for the flight of a relative that has already departed, you may click on the airport and then find the plane this way. Because let's say I have an uncle that flew to Omaha today, then I could go here and, well, this plane I guess has already landed. Let's say I have an uncle that flies to Panama. Well, if you have an uncle, well, also if you don't have an uncle, you can find any plane on the map live in the air by selecting it through the airport. So that is very cool. You also find military planes. I guess one of the best examples is to show you that in Ukraine at the moment, this, for example, Boeing P-8A Poseidon is United States Air Force. and it patrols the border area of Ukraine here. Yeah, you can also find fighter jets. I wonder if I can find one now. Yeah, they're a bit smaller. It's a bit more looking around. I guess, especially if they are actually flying an operation, you will not be able to find them. But believe me, there are fighter jets here. And you can also see them without clicking at every plane because every plane looks different. You know, you can, after some time, figure out that this is a Boeing 737. This is an 747. And, you know, so on and so forth. Isn't that pretty cool? You also find balloons, hot air balloons, helicopters, and airport vehicles. So there's loads to see. It is quite captivating, quite interesting. I've been looking at this map for years, but I guess I'm a little bit nerdy. Yeah, so go check it out. Link is in the description. Marine traffic. Same idea, but with boats. Now, I know less about this map. I don't know if this is all boats. I can tell you it's a lot of boats. Somehow, the map is irritating at first because everything that is white is an ocean. Everything that's a little bit gray, bluish is land. If this was reversed, I guess in my mind it would make more sense. But similar here, you can click on any boat, let's say this, and at least sometimes it shows you a picture of that. It certainly did that on the phone. Here I can't. Sand Explorer. Ah yeah, also on rivers, of course. But usually same idea, you click on it and it shows you a picture of it, although at the moment it doesn't. I guess you also have to pay for it. Vessels, ports, lighthouses, companies, stations, fleet management. Well, there's loads to see, and different colors indicate different types of boats, and you see, similar with the plane maps, that boats are perhaps surprisingly mostly driving on the coast, except they go between continents or countries. But even then, you have certain routes and streets that boats follow. Can have a quick look at the Bermuda Triangle, which is just here, north of the Caribbean, where at the moment the MSC Michigan is going from Caucedo to New York. So it does show pictures, I guess just not for every boat. You can click on vessel details. You know, you get all sorts of information. When is the last time it has sent the position? Think about the Titan submersive that just dropped down. This was an instance where I went on this map and I looked for all the rescue vehicles that were scanning the area. Very interesting. So you can, same with flight radar, follow real-time events. You know, if your president flies to another country, maybe it will be on the map. Because I have seen the Russian presidential plane. Now, of course, I don't know if the president is in there, but I've seen the plane on flight radar. And, you know, there are all sorts of forums as well where people post crazy finds they have made on these maps, and it's quite interesting, including some funny GPS patterns that some pilots fly in the air. I remember the Qantas final 747 or A380, the final flight where the pilot was flying a plane as a sort of GPS track into the sky. I will add a picture now. And if I haven't found it, you may have to Google for yourself. Now this is quite nice. Personally, I like the plane map a bit more. I don't know if it's just about the design or that it's just more boats out there, so it's a bit more messy, but you know, still very interesting. Still very nice. You can understand where a boat that lays on shore in your harbor goes to and what kind of boat it is, and figure things out from there. Now, the next thing is something I don't know for very long, but it's apparently a real-time train map of, I don't want to say of the world, but of the Western world, of Europe. Yeah, and it displays trains in real time. Now, I don't know if this is, if it's real time in the sense that these are the actual trains at the moment, or if it's simply displaying it in real time based on published schedules. So what I mean is maybe a train is supposed to go at that moment in time, and so it's displayed on the map here as a dot that's moving. Because if you have a closer look, for example, here in Frankfurt, Germany, these are all moving, including the inner city trains. But also in between cities, let's just go to France here randomly. These are moving trains, and you can click on all of them. What I wanted to say. So if you do click on one of them, it shows you the actual delay, at least for some. So I don't know if all of them are in real time, especially the ones that are running perfectly on time and are regional trains. Yeah, it's hard to believe that there are so much on time. So I guess at least for some, if not for all, this is real time. It shows you all the stations and just displays the train as a line where it's coming from, where it's going to. Then you also see different colors. What exactly they indicate, I'm not too sure. Different lines, different types of trains, different degrees of delay, but maybe actually if you look at the but the dots have also circles in different colors. And you also see these X's sometimes, which I guess means that one station is not working or one accident occurred. And of course, not for every country in the world, but still very cool. And I think it's just super, super interesting to even understand how many trains there are, where they all go. Of course, if you are now from Pakistan or Iran, then yeah. As with many maps, Google Street View included, there's a sort of in availability or not availability in many parts of the world, which is a pity. Would be so interesting to especially understand infrastructure, modes of transportation, traffic, all over the world. Compare traffic systems from different continents. But yeah, this is the state of the art. You see also these patterns, how, for example, in Belgium, Brussels being in the center seems to be also the very hub of all sorts of trains. But yeah, with so many trains on the line, it's hard to imagine that there wouldn't be any delay. But yeah, very, very interesting. Now, the last thing I want to show you is a map I found today that I found so interesting, amazing, mesmerizing at first glance that I immediately decided to make a video with these kind of flying objects, modes of transportation sort of things. And it's this one. Now it looks like a sort of interactive whatever display of whatever, like it's hard to even know what it is. But when you zoom in, you understand that these are actually all sorts of things flying in the Earth's orbit. From, I can show you here if you go on object type, from payloads, rocket bodies, debris unknown, including, I will show you one of these oopsie, Starlink satellites, you know, for internet, rocket bodies. I don't know if this is parts of a rocket that are now drifting in the orbit forever. Yeah, all sorts of things and all sorts of different heights. If you go on perigee, I believe this shows the height of the object in the orbit. So higher than 1,500 kilometer is dark blue. So for example, objects here, Ariane 5, which is some kind of human-made rocket thing, as you can see, just flying there in space, somehow being tracked, absolutely wild. You know, but there are other things. Falcon 9. The further out you go, the more you more kind of rocket parts you see flying around. And this is absolutely mad. I think I have no words for this. This would be, I mean, always imagining to have this sort of as a sort of screen at home instead of a painting, you know, you just have this on the wall, looking at this at all times. Supposedly also seeing starts of rockets and the International Space Station on here. I don't know if you can actually enter ISS, if it will lead to anything, or maybe it has a certain code word. International Space Station. Trick tab rocket body debris. Yeah. But I'm sure you're going to be able to find something interesting here other than satellites and random debris, meteorites. Well, although they wouldn't have any GPS. But maybe you don't need GPS, and maybe this is not even GPS based. Maybe it's satellite based. I really don't know. But absolutely crazy. How everything seems to be in order, and there seems to be no clashes or things flying into one another. Or maybe it does happen all the time. So, country of, by the way, country of origin. Blue is from the US, orange is from Russia, China, Japan, India, and others. So the main space exploring countries are also represented here. Absolutely wild. I mean, my idea today was to show you this Space Bee. I'm sure you can do loads of things. If you know some cool features or tricks or what to type to look for some cool objects, let me know in the comments. I think that also somehow this is something I want to add, that the availability of data, and you know, everyone has a computer and everyone has knowledge how to use it, and that you can download data and combine different data sources and visualize it maybe somehow with a very nice user-friendly front end is, you know, getting delivering us, I guess you could say, crazy visualizations of the world. There are many more maps out there, not necessarily transport or traffic or movement oriented in the same way, but I will also make a video about that, I guess, in the nearer future, although with promises, it's always such a thing. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I will cut this video as short as I can, even though it's already 10 minutes longer than I wanted it to be. And I wish you a lovely rest of the day. Bye bye.